The dawn of April 14th, 1561, broke over Nuremberg like any other. Citizens stirred, preparing for their day. The sun, a promise of warmth, climbed over the horizon. But this day, this seemingly ordinary day, would soon transform into an extraordinary spectacle, forever etching itself into the annals of history. As the sun painted the sky with hues of gold and rose, something inexplicable began to unfold above the city. Hundreds of people, going about their daily routines, stopped in awe. They pointed towards the heavens, their eyes wide with disbelief. The sky, their familiar canvas of blue, was now alive with a multitude of objects. Shapes, colors, movements, all defied the known laws of nature, all challenged their understanding of the world. What were these strange apparitions that danced and twirled in the morning light? Fear mingled with wonder. Murmurs rippled through the crowd, whispers turning into shouts. Some saw celestial omens, divine pronouncements etched across the sky. Others, gripped by terror, saw harbingers of doom, the wrath of God made manifest. Was this a sign of impending war, a plague, or some unknown calamity? Amidst the chaos and confusion, one thing was clear. Something extraordinary was unfolding above Nuremberg. Accounts of the Nuremberg event, meticulously documented by chroniclers and artists of the time, offer a glimpse into the sheer scale and strangeness of the spectacle. Woodcuts from the period depict a sky teeming with a variety of objects: spheres, cylinders, crescents, crosses, and more. These objects, seemingly metallic in nature, moved erratically, some clashing with each other, others darting across the sky with incredible speed. One witness, Hans Glaser, described seeing a very frightful spectacle. He recounted objects of various shapes and sizes, including a large pipe, from which small and great rods emerged. Others spoke of blood-red crosses and globe-like objects engaged in aerial combat. The sheer number of these objects, estimated to be in the hundreds, is staggering. The detailed descriptions and illustrations, though centuries old, resonate with modern UFO sightings. The shapes, the metallic sheen, the erratic movements. These details are typical of how we understand UFOs today. A news article printed in April 1561 describes the mass sighting event. It describes an aerial battle, followed by the appearance of a large black triangular object. Here's an English translation of the news article. In the morning of April 14th, 1561, at daybreak, between 4 and 5 a.m., a dreadful apparition occurred on the sun, and then this was seen in Nuremberg in the city, before the gates and in the country, by many men and women. At first there appeared in the middle of the sun 2 blood-red semicircular arcs, just like the moon in its last quarter. And in the sun, above and below and on both sides, the color was blood. There stood a round ball of partly dull, partly black ferrous color. Likewise there stood on both sides and as a torus about the sun such blood-red ones and other balls in large number, about 3 in a line and 4 in a square, also some alone. In between these globes there were visible a few blood-red crosses, between which there were blood-red strips, becoming thicker to the rear and in the front malleable like the rods of reed grass, which were intermingled. Among them, 2 big rods, one on the right, the other to the left, and within the small and big rods there were 3, also 4 and more globes. These all started to fight among themselves, so that the globes, which were first in the sun, flew out to the ones standing on both sides. Thereafter, the globes standing outside the sun, in the small and large rods, flew into the sun. Besides, the globes flew back and forth among themselves and fought vehemently with each other for over an hour. And when the conflict in and again out of the sun was most intense, they became fatigued to such an extent that they all, as said above, fell from the sun down upon the earth as if they all burned, and they then wasted away on the earth with immense smoke. After all this, there was something like a black spear, very long and thick, sighted, the shaft pointed to the east, the point pointed west. Whatever such signs mean, God alone knows. A compelling account of an extraterrestrial battle. The Nuremberg event is not an isolated incident. It is part of a larger group of unexplained phenomena that hint at the possibility of extraterrestrial life visiting Earth throughout human history. One of the best historical accounts of a mass eye-witnessed UFO event in our history.